Okay, so this video tutorial is for Mr. and Mrs. Lathrop. Sorry, Jim, I'll never really get used to calling you Jim. But this is going to show you how to connect to Contribute and edit pages for a website. So we're going to go to our desktop and go to your Macintosh hard drive. And in your folder that says Applications, you click on the arrow to drop it down, and we'll open up Contribute. It'll actually be in the folder Contribute. And you double click it, you'll see it bouncing over there. And if it doesn't pop up, just click on it and it'll come to the front. Okay, so we've got Contribute open, and to your left you'll see, maybe, you probably won't see anything to the left. You're going to click on Website Connection to start a new connection. And this will bring up the introduction, and so if you want you can read that, but we're just going to click Continue for now. And then you enter in the URL of your website. I'm probably going to blur that out so that people don't know it. I mean, if you, yeah. And then it's going to ask how you want to connect to your website, and you connect using an FTP. And so then you name the FTP server, which is actually the same address as your website. And your username and password you should know. And we'll press continue. And now it's going to test the connection. And if it works, it will start running a bunch of tests. Yep. Testing, testing, testing. And don't worry about the subversion connection info because we're not going to use that. So click continue for that. And here we'll ask you to identify yourself so that when you edit the pages it knows who's editing them. So I'll just put mine down right now just as an example. Click continue. And it says congratulations, you can now use Contribute to edit pages on your website, and it gives you all of your information. And we'll click finish. And at this point it grabs all the templates I put up on the website and it pulls them down into Contribute. And after a brief moment, alright, so there is your under construction page. And if you recall, I told you the secret you could add to the title bar. I'll include it in the email when I link you to the video. But if you enter in the right thing, your website will pop up. And from there, it's pretty easy. You can change, for example, the text in this paragraph. You just click on it, and excuse me, press Edit Page, and that will connect to specifically this page. It says creating a draft of this page. That's just so that if you don't want to save your changes or you want to save them for later, you can. And so now it looks a little funky. Everything's shifted over and like buttons are highlighted and whatnot. And that's okay. It won't look like that when you publish it. So for this part, you just select what you want it to say and change it. Like, so we'll put this is a test, and that's how you change text. And you say you can either send to a review, and I believe this allows you to it'll email I think everybody that's connected to the website that you want to change this website, and it'll basically ask, or just basically so anybody can review. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So if you say send for review, it will open up an email client, and you can change the to and all of that, and this is the link to the draft of the page. So it's temporary, so you can share it with Mr. Lathrop or Mrs. Lathrop, whoever is editing the pages. And so going back into Contribute, you can also say save for later, which will allow you to save the page. Yeah, it's saved as a draft, but so you can click on the unpublished draft, so I'll show you, like, there's your unpublished draft with this as a test, but if you say save for later, then it didn't publish it, so it's not committed. So down here on your website it still says nothing. But say if you went edit page and you say publish, then the part where it says this is a test, this is still your draft, it will connect to the server and it will update the page that it needs to. And it'll say congratulations, you updated it, and you say okay, that's cool, and it will take you back to your main website page and refresh, and this is a test is now part of the website. And so it's pretty easy. Where it gets a little bit more difficult is on the images, and I will show you how to do that. Click on edit page again to get it opened up. It creates another draft. And I really don't have any image to change, but for example, this whole bottom bar is an image, so you can click and actually move it around, but that will mess up pretty much everything. But alternatively, you could delete it, and then you've got just nothing, and it'll look fine. Or you can press undo a couple times so it goes back to where it was. Or you can right click and you can change the image, like resize it, make it smaller, rotate it, crop it. You can edit it. You now have these two programs on your computer. Fireworks, I don't really know how to use, so I would probably try and avoid that one. But Photoshop, if you would like, I can show you how to edit the image in Photoshop. Image properties, I believe, yes, image properties is the image file itself. If you want to learn how to change the image, I can show you how to do this, and then you'll just click choose, and you can choose the image from a computer, and it'll bring up a folder, and you just navigate around and click on the image that you've changed and that you want it to, and you have to make sure that the pixels, the width and the height are correct. But other than that, it's pretty easy. I can show you that pretty quickly. But oh, and this description alt text is for people, the rare chance that people use a text-based browser. That means that none of the images will show up. And so what people do is put an alternative to the picture. So it would be like footer bar, and you say okay. And so now, I mean, there's no visible change to anybody that uses a regular browser, but I don't know exactly what browser even uses text-based, but it's an option. And so yeah, this is the little green squares are the buttons. So you can move them if you'd like, but don't because they're specific to each tab, and also in these read more buttons. You can change You'll notice this is a little bit bold. This is bolder. You can change. This is a test. You can make it. You can change your font styles. You can change your colors. You can change your font within a little bit. You don't have very many fonts to choose from, but that's just because you have to kind of stay with the internet standard. Size-wise, you can get a lot of different sizes from these headings. Like I was messing with these a lot when I was making your website, but also you can go in here and pick a number to choose your font size, like 24, and make it just a slight bit bigger. I believe you can highlight it too, so we'll make this black with a highlighted yellow, and now this is a test. And like the pretty basic controls. You can also highlight certain segments of text and say link, and you can link it to a file, a computer, email address, draft, recent page. So we'll link it to the under construction page. So that's www.that. Which it might get really specific. So we're gonna go ahead and enter in the full address and say OK. And now it did change colors. I think you can change the, oh, it did kind of change colors. It's a link color, so I believe you can change it if you just click on the black and change it to a different color, which you kind of can. It's a link, so everybody, when a text is a link, then it changes colors. You can add in images, so say you wanted to click there and add in an image from your computer, and you had this, yeah, you had this image that you wanted to put in there. Then okay, if that pops up, what that said was that the image needed to be reduced because it was too big for the website. If that pops up, just shoot me an email and I'll condense it down. But you can actually do it too yourself. It's with Photoshop. I can show you how, as always. But here's your new image. But again, you have to play around a little bit. The bar down here is all the buttons are on one bar, which we can separate them out and put them up here if you want to add like an extremely long post for news and events or corporate solutions or what have you. But at least on the home page, it may be best to just kind of keep them paragraph length and then have a read more option, because the read more options do go to the corresponding pages of news and events and corporate solutions, and the read more and the welcome goes to the about us. But right now we're actually gonna discard that. Well, we'll publish it so I can show you.